I never set out to be a Hoya collector, but here we are. I have a lot. So what started as just one cutting turned into a collection of over 50 Hoyas in a very short period of time. In today's video, I'm sharing every single Hoya I'm growing, starting with the ones that have already bloomed or are in bloom. If you are just getting into Hoyas or have been growing for years, I hope this video will bring you some inspiration or at least some joy seeing somebody else's Hoya obsession. And it is quite the obsession, I tell you. Most of my Hoyas I don't have labels on, and some of them I've already forgotten the name, but I will get the name in my editing, put it at the bottom. I'm gonna give you the oldest Hoya first, just to kind of set things off. My Hoya pubicalyx Splash. I'm gonna take it out of the cover pot that I have it in. This plant started with a little cutting. This is an example of what it started like. This is the Royal Pubicalyx or Royal Hawaiian. I'll tell you about that one later. So that's how it kind of started, with a size like that, and now here we are. This Hoya, I absolutely love having it because it is my very first Hoya that started this little obsession. And I think I learned from getting this one of what the blooms would look like. And of course, I had a goal to getting blooms and didn't get blooms for years until earlier this year. I got my first set of blooms. And I only was able to get it by doing a little experiment. I'll put my experiment video here so you can see it. It's a short video. I did that experiment with darkness and light and it worked. And now I'm actually getting another set of blooms on the same peduncle. Maybe that's all it needed to kind of get going, was to activate it. I did get a second bloom on this plant, but it actually fell off. I was very sad about that. But since the plant has bloomed, I started getting new growth. I wasn't getting growth for the longest on this plant. This is what it looks like. They're very splashy. I really love it. If you don't have blooms on this one, try that light experiment to see if you can activate the peduncle. This is actually known as a cold loving Hoya. There's Hoyas out there that prefer cooler temperatures than hot temperatures. There's Hoyas that prefer warmer ones than cooler ones. I just have it on a trellis and I just keep spinning it around. I actually started spinning this one around on here to just get them trellised and secure. I have a lot of Hoyas to go through, so I'm just going to try to do this really quick. Easygoing plant. It's beautiful, and the blooms, of course, I'm going to put a picture of what the blooms look like. This one surprised me because it was a darker bloom in color, and I think that had to do with the amount of light the plant gets to indicate what the bloom color would be as well. So that was good to see, that a nice, really deep purple. So this is the first one, and I love it. This was sold to me as a Hoya macrophylla, but I think now it's named latifolia. Haven't done my full research on that yet. There is actually something going on with this plant. There's these little round white things on there, and I've communicated with a friend of mine on it. It seems to be fungus. Take the soil out and give it new soil. Okay, so this plant sits like this in my plant room at the west window. So this side gets all the sun. Look how large these leaves are and variegated they are. I love that. Look how big this one is. This is huge. So this is the side that gets all the sun, and this is the side that gets the grow light. So that's a bit of a difference. This leaf is actually really big too. I'm gonna need to do something with this. I'm gonna get a bigger trellis for it and kind of wrap it around. This plant has bloomed for me, I think 3 times or 4 times. There's multiple peduncles on here and a few over here, but this plant, I got it as a little more established. It actually came with the peduncles. I think the big leaves Hoya is could be a bit of a challenge if you don't have the space for it, because some of these leaves are really big. and the stem gets really thick. This pot can't stand on its own. It needs a large, heavy cover pot so it can do that. So that's one of the things about the large leaves Hoyas that I don't like. I think I have small leaves Hoyas more than I have large ones. Hoya latifolia, and it is gorgeous. The leaves are coming in so shiny. I love it. All right, so the next Hoya is the Hoya shepherdii, and it is covered in blooms. I have a bunch of blooms that's already finished blooming this side, and there's some in there that's bloomed. This one actually opened up a few days ago. Some of these Hoyas, some of them don't smell good, but these smell good. This one I got with peduncles already. For the longest, I didn't know if this plant was doing well. It seems to be doing okay. It hasn't really grown or done anything at all during winter. And then when summer came, it actually late spring, all the blooms activated. So weird. It happened all at the same time. And they're just, I'm getting new growth on certain tendrils that's just been empty, and that's really good to see. This one is actually going to be opening soon too. Can't smell anything yet. I just did a begonia video, and I shared how troublesome they were. They had to prune them and cut them back. This is not going to be the case for these kind of plants. Okay, so this is my Hoya kuniana silver, and the silver splash is all over the plant in different shades. I absolutely love that. This, surprisingly, this Hoya is not blooming right now, probably only for 2 weeks, because this Hoya is constantly blooming. I just gave it a repot and I already see roots. I already see roots around, so that's good. I had this in a very small pot for the longest time, and it was drying out every 2 days. And that's not good for me because I am such an underwaterer. I don't really keep up with stuff like that. So I had to give it an emergency repot a few weeks ago, and I did, and it's doing a lot better. It had to get rehydrated. It was very wrinkled and not happy, but it's bouncing back, and it's gonna bloom again. There's a peduncle right there. I think this is my fastest growing Hoya, easygoing plant. And again, with when it comes on to Hoyas, you actually need to have a heavier cover pot when you're gonna grow them, because they get top heavy. This one just keeps on blooming, and look at the size of the peduncle. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and each time it blooms, that peduncle grows. Isn't that cool? I love it. If you want a Hoya that gives you that bloom satisfaction, get this one. Okay, so this one is my Hoya compacta, and it has bloomed 3 times this year. And that was one of my goals that I had for this plant last year, was to activate all 3 peduncles. It's actually going to bloom again. There is the peduncle here is getting activated. This is longer. I just have it up on this kind of trellis. Let me take these things off. My disco balls, let's take them off. I want to show you how long it is. When I got this plant, yeah, I love it. I love this plant. I got this as a small cutting, like 2 inches, and it's grown this much for me. And I bought these 2 cuttings to add it to the plant, and that's all also growing. I got this like a few years before, and I think, yeah, I think this one's bloomed and this one's bloomed, but this one have not bloomed yet. I like it. I like having it in this type of trellis just so it can stay a little bit more compact. I don't have an area where I can just hang it. I would love to, but I don't. If I were to get mealies on this, it would be very difficult to manage, but I'll find a way because I love this plant. This one is one of my favorite Hoyas because of how unique it is and how unique the leaf shape is. I mean, what's not to love about this? It looks like a scrunchie, like a hair scrunchie. I'm looking forward to seeing this bloom again. This one smells like cherries and chocolate for the first 3 days, and after that, it doesn't smell good. I think the spreadsheet on Reddit said it smelled like a locker room. Not exactly a locker room, but it smells like socks, like old used socks that's not been washed in quite a while. So maybe I guess a locker room fits that deal, but yeah, that's what the Reddit spreadsheet said. There's a spreadsheet or a Google sheet going around on Reddit where they've captured all the smells of Hoyas, and this one got the locker room smell. But for the first 3 days, it smells amazing. All right, so this Hoya is my Hoya walliniana. I know it's a small one compared to what I've been showing you, but this has already bloomed for me twice and I just got it. I did get it with a peduncle. It's not as fast as some of my other Hoyas, but it's getting there. There's also a new shoot that's come up right here, so it's doing really well. I love the sun stressing. It is sitting in a west window and I love this plant. I can't wait to see the potential this one brings because I know this is actually a fast grower, and which is one of the reasons why I got this plant was because of that. The blooms on this very beautiful. The middle of it is like rubies and it smells like cinnamon. Reminds me of a cinnamon coffee cake. The one thing about these blooms, it does not last long. I'm used to some Hoya blooms lasting like 2 weeks, but not this one. Okay, so this Hoya has bloomed and it is a cold loving plant. It will bloom again in fall, and I already have to give it a repot. There's all this root coming out of the bottom. I know this is not much of an appreciated plant because some Hoyas are mealybug magnets, and if you were to get mealybugs on this one, it is going to be hard to kind of manage. I would have to see how I would manage that if I do get mealybugs on here. I would dunk the plant, if anything. I actually really like it. Take a look at what this plant could look like against my black shirt. It looks like sparkles, like an explosion of sparkles. That's what it looks like. These blooms don't really smell like anything to me. As much as I love to smell Hoya blooms, this one doesn't really have a smell for me. It grows really fast, and I love having a variety of Hoyas that appreciate the cooler temperatures, especially living in the Midwest because it gets really cold here. And to have blooms in fall and sometimes in winter is such a treat when it comes down to having houseplants in winter. It has not given me any trouble. It actually likes to be watered more than my other Hoyas, probably because of the foliage, and that is a cold loving plant. That's why there's roots coming out of the bottom because I try to keep it hydrated as much as I can. Are you one of the ones that also love this Hoya because it does not get a lot of love? I just want the flower just dropped from it. I'm gonna put it back into the pot. There's like one bloom hanging on. Okay, so this is the Hoya villosa, and let me tell you about this plant. I just gave it a water last night. This one, the blooms are so beautiful. I think it is there's like categories to like my favorite bloom. I have two favorite blooms. One of them one of them doesn't last long, and this one lasts long. So these blooms on here lasted a month. 1 month of having this plant blooming, and it smells like gardenia. If you've ever smelled a gardenia flower, it is so delicious. It totally enjoyed having this plant bloom for me. I just got this as a cutting, and it's like this was the cutting right here, and this grew and I got blooms already. This is like exceptional. I just didn't think I was ever going to get blooms from this. But anyway, I did. And they're beautiful. That's what it looks like right there. It resembles the Hoya globulosa. There's a difference. These leaves are not as long as the globulosa. They're much shorter. They look so much alike and glossy and thick and fuzzy in the back. I'm just so excited that I got blooms from this one. What a treat that was for me. So very happy. Hoya villosa. One of the plants that I showed you was the Hoya macrophylla or latifolia. That was a variegated one, and this is the green one. This is a cutting that I got last year, and I have blooms. It hasn't opened up quite yet. I have blooms, and this is a green one. I also have 4 peduncles right here as well. I'm loving that I have blooms already on this plant. These blooms haven't opened up yet, and I wonder, I can't smell anything yet. The variegated one smells like vanilla. I'm expecting this to smell the same. When these blooms fall off, I'm gonna have to kind of trellis it, and it's in a small pot. It's not even like root bound yet. It'll be a while before I take it out of this pot. That one sits at a north window, and there's a little light at the top. Okay, so this plant is my Hoya rosita. The blooms fell off last night, and this is where the blooms was. Okay, so this plant was not doing well at all, and I repotted it, started growing, and then I got blooms. I was very shocked. This one sits in a greenhouse. I have it in a greenhouse. It'll eventually come out of there. I'm actually doing a little makeover of this plant room with some new IKEA shelves that I have, and it'll give me a little bit more room to put plants. That is one of the things why some of the plants are still in my IKEA cabinet, because I don't have room to put them on the ambient humidity. But once I get the plant shelves in, I will be. But this is the Hoya rosita. There's a little sun stressing, very beautiful. I love how dark the foliage is, and the blooms on this, it is so pretty. It does not last long though, like 5 days. That's it. You have to catch it really quick. If you're not looking at your Hoyas and you're expecting blooms, you're going to have to keep your eyes open, especially now that it's summer. These blooms smell like a candy shop. It was so sweet and candy like, and it had this red center. It was just so beautiful. The leaves are not as thick as some of the other Hoyas I have. Okay, so this Hoya is the Hoya caudata Sumatra, and it is one of my favorite blooms. This one though, it does not last long. It's days. Within like 3 to 4 days, possibly 5, you could lose the blooms and have them fall off. So, but when you get them, it is the most beautiful blooms I have ever seen. And it smells like nothing. I was expecting so much more from this plant with the blooms, with smell. It is actually going to be blooming again. There is the peduncle right here that bloomed earlier this year. And I have another peduncle over here that is going to be blooming too. I'm very excited about that. This plant is one of my favorites. It's very crusty dusty. I love it. It's very prehistoric type leaves. One of my favorite things about this plant, if it's not blooming. Love the foliage. I would love to train it to grow outside of my IKEA cabinet because I want this plant to get more light. This plant came as a little cutting I forget when. I think I think early last year. I love that some of these Hoyas that I have, they bloom so early for me and didn't wait so long, because the Hoya pubicalyx took so long to bloom. I know there's other variations of this plant. What I have is I do love and I appreciate. Very beautiful. Look at that leaf. Yeah. This is the Hoya casa petiolata, not splashed one. I love this plant. I mean, the veining, those veiny Hoyas could be really expensive, but this one is definitely not expensive at all. And the blooms on this plant is another one of my favorites. It smells like vanilla. It lasts fairly long. It's only bloomed for me once, and it was going to bloom again. This is where the bloom was. The blooms fell off. I was very sad about that. I'm hoping it's going to bloom again, but this plant definitely is a great plant to have. It is, again, low maintenance. Never had any issue with this plant at all. I just gave it a repot a few months ago, and it's already all these roots. That's nice. That's good to see. It's not root bound at all, but I love seeing that. It sits very happily in a west window. Oh, right. We are here, and let me bring this up so you can see the star of the show here. It is my Hoya Bella, and the secret to getting a Hoya Bella this big is to buy a big plant. This is a one beautiful plant. Absolutely love the blooms on here. For me, it smells like jasmine. It is so beautiful. I bought this plant big because I wanted to get a plant, a Hoya big. Most of my Hoyas I have came as cuttings, and I just kind of wanted a big plant. So I searched for a while, for a few months, before I hit the button on this one to buy. And it's still in the same substrate that it came in, the same pot. I haven't touched it. I mean, I looked at the soil, and it has soil that I would use, because there's some orchid bark in here. There's pumice. So that kind of made me feel that it wasn't a good soil mix that I would do. Maybe mine would be a little bit more aerated. I got this on Etsy and from a hobby grower as well. There's more peduncles back here. This one is just filling my heart with all the blooms. I have a probably, I don't know, we can take a count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, and about 20 peduncles. So yeah. Hoya Bella sits in my east window right here on the top shelf. And I think that's one of the reasons why this plant is doing so well. I'm not sure what am I going to do when winter comes, because I won't be able to keep any plants here. Probably for all of January, I'm going to have to remove the plants here and see where I can put them. We'll see. I'm going to cross that bridge with you guys. I'm going to cross the bridge with you to find a place for my plants during the polar vortex. But I love having this Hoya Bella. I've only had it for a short time, so I can't really tell you how easy it is. So right now, since I have acquired it, it's been easy. I water it when I think it looks thirsty. I feel the plant pot to see if it's like dry, and I give it a good soak. So far, so good with this plant. Let me know if you have this, and let me know some of your tips, since it's still so new for me. This Hoya is the Hoya Crinkle 8, I think. I got this in a trade, or I won it. I forget. I got it from one of my Instagram friends. It is doing well. Got it as a cutting. It was probably that big, and this part grew with me. So it's nice having a nice small Hoya, but not much to say about this plant except I'm looking forward to seeing it grow in summer. Okay, so this Hoya I got for my birthday. It is the Hoya callistophylla, and it is still in the soil that it came in, and it's not great soil. I'm gonna be giving it a repot soon. All this was not here. This has grown for me since I got it in May. Excited. I love the leaf veining on this plant. I have another one like this. It wasn't labeled that way, but I think it is a callistophylla. So I might be putting both of them together. So far, so good. It's in this window right here, and beautiful plant. Looking forward to seeing it grow. Okay, so this Hoya is my Hoya burtoniae and the Hoya DS70. That is what it was sold to me as. I don't know if that's true or not, but that is, this one is a DS70 and this one is the burtoniae. I combined them together in one pot because why not? They all look the same. This one has definitely taken off in growth. I'm just gonna wrap it. No blooms yet, and that's fine. Since I've put them in one pot, they've been doing really well. It's funny enough that this was in my IKEA cabinet and then I had to take it out because it was growing so fast. I love how the leaves are so fuzzy. It's so different than the other Hoyas, but this one is definitely very beautiful and completely different than the other ones I have. It sits very happily in the west window. And here we have the Hoya australis Lisa. It is in a small pot, doing really well. I got quite a bit of growth from it this summer. It's not grown at all in winter, and for the most part of spring, it didn't do anything, but we have lots of growth now that summer's here. I would suspect that this doesn't really like to be cold. Look how I love, look at that leaf. Look at that. Look at this. There's like green in here. It's lighter around. It looks like an evergreen map. I got this plant, I think spring of last year. That's when I got it, and it's just been easy, low maintenance. You're gonna hear that a lot from me with Hoyas. Easy, low maintenance compared to begonias. It's gonna be like difficult, fast growing, high maintenance. That's what begonias are. But Hoyas are definitely the opposite. All right, so this Hoya, I don't remember the name, but I will put it at the bottom and then put a label on it. It is unique. It has long, glossy leaves, not fuzzy at all. There's a little type of veining on the leaves, but not much. Very unique Hoya. I've not really seen any like these before. Easygoing, hasn't really given me any trouble. I appreciate this plant and looking forward to seeing if it does bloom for me anytime soon. Okay, this is the Callistophylla Splash. This plant was not doing well. It actually had root rot, my very first root rot with any kind of Hoyas. And I gave it a repot and it's doing a lot better. There's some growth since I've given it a repot. It's like the tendrils just grow out. I let it grow and then I kind of put it back in place. Since I gave it a repot, it's been bouncing back and doing better. Definitely does not look like my regular Cassia petiolata. Maybe I should start this over. I'm not sure. We'll see what I'll do with it. But looking forward to watching this rehab back and continue going better and kind of bouncing back from the little root rot episode that it had. So this is the Hoya obovata variegated, and this is the Hoya obovata splash. Look at the difference. I don't like this one. Obovata variegated one is very wonky. It doesn't grow right. I actually think this one actually had some flat mite damage when I first got it from the plant shop, and this one is the just a splash, and this one got watered yesterday. Is doing really well. This one was growing in water and I moved it to soil when I got it. I just got this plant, and that's the other thing. I've had this plant for a longer time and I just got this one, and this one grew from here all this is like new growth. And this one, I think the new growth here is just that leaf. But this one, I love, I actually really love the obovata, the regular one. I mean, I'm glad that it's splashy. I wasn't expecting it to be that splashy because that's not how it came, but now that it's growing with me, it's really splashy. Very beautiful. I appreciate this one more than the other one. If I'm being honest, I feel like these leaves are stinking perfect. Look at that. Doing really well. Hoya ovata variegated, not doing great. Okay, so this one is my Hoya pubicalyx. I think I'll look to see, but I got this long time ago. It's doing okay. It's growing now quite a lot now that summer's here. And this one hasn't bloomed for me, but it's, you know, it's growing. It's kind of beautiful and splashy. Love it. I should bring these together. My other pubicalyx that I have, bring them together, but I'm not looking to disturb that one. For the longest, this one didn't grow for me, and then out of nowhere, earlier this year, it started growing. It grew a little bit last year, but definitely is growing a lot more this year. Oh, right. This is the Hoya globulosa, one of my favorite plants. Now the competition is with the villosa. This is what I mean that the Hoya globulosa is different. This one, the leaves are quite long. It's still very veiny, glossy, a little different than the Hoya villosa. This is doing well. I want to say it's a slow grower. I gave another cutting of this to one of my friends, and I love that she has one of my forever plants in her collection. I love that it's just going so well this summer, and looking forward to seeing what it's going to do in the next coming years. But I love having this plant. It's definitely a treat to see this kind of foliage in my plant room. It's fuzzy, guys. It's so fuzzy at the bottom. I've not had any blooms on this one yet, but I'm looking forward to getting blooms on it. This is the Hoya imperialis. I did have a bloom right here growing and it fell off. I got this plant because of the potential bloom. The blooms on this plant is very unique. If I can find on Instagram what the blooms would look like, looking forward to seeing that. This one's going okay. These two leaves, it was getting too much light and it didn't like it. And I changed the lighting situation and the leaves started changing. I don't think I'm good with this one yet because when I got this plant, the leaves were very beautiful and long. And since they've been with me, they're very thin. So we need to troubleshoot this problem that I have. And maybe I'll do that with you guys one day on a video to see if I can troubleshoot some of my Hoyas, what I do to get them growing better, or seeing what I need to do to make changes to it. This one needs a little TLC, but it's still doing okay. Hoya imperialis. Looking forward to seeing if I get blooms from it. Okay, so this one is the Hoya carnosa. Is just a regular carnosa. I think that's what it's called. I'll have to verify. Got this plant before we moved into this house, and we've been here 2 years. It's slow to grow, very slow. I did get it as a little cutting right over there. So this is the new growth that I have. Compared to some of my other Hoyas, this one's a slow grower. And you know, that's okay. I did recently give it a repot to see if I can get it to get a little pep in its step, but I'm not sure. I'm patient. Let's see what happens. This is a very common Hoya. You can find this at the garden shops. I did buy this on Etsy as a cutting, unrooted cutting. Okay, so this one is the Hoya kerrii. I got this as, I think I wanted in some kind of drawing on Instagram. I don't really exactly know, but it was not, I did not pay for it. It's the same girl that I won a plant. She also gifted me some plants. We all know that this is a slow grower, and I am okay with that. And I know that it's a big leaf Hoya and thick stem Hoya, so we'll have to get it trellised as soon as it starts growing, or good luck getting it trellised. So this Hoya is one of my favorites. It is the Hoya linearis, and I got this plant as a tiny cutting, several tiny cuttings, and I'm happy to say that I've already shared this plant twice with people. I also have cuttings in the IKEA cabinet that I'm looking to put into the pot because I gave it a trim a few weeks ago, or I'm sorry, a few months ago. I love that I can say that I've given this plant a trim. I was doing an experiment in getting this Hoya to bloom this year. I was not successful in getting blooms, but I'm looking forward to trying it again this year. This is another cool loving Hoya, prefers cooler temperature and hates summer, hoping to see when fall comes if I can get this plant to bloom. And the way I'm going to do that is with giving it equal amounts of darkness and light. Plant is very beautiful. I absolutely love it. Look how different this plant is compared to the other Hoyas I've shown you. For me, it's quite a fast growing Hoya. I just actually gave it a repot a few months ago. When I gave it a chop, I gave it a repot into better airy soil. It's the soil mix is very chunky. Every bloom that activated, I had about 8 or 9 activation of blooms, and they all fell off. I kind of got concerned and wanted to see if I had root rot going on. So I did unpot the plant out of the pot to see what was going on, and there was no root rot. But I gave it a different soil mix, and I'm kind of be treating it a little different, giving it more water. I can just tell it's doing better. There's so much like new growth happening as soon as I started with my new routine with this plant. So yeah. Okay, so this is my Hoya Mathilde. This is a very new plant. I actually have the date. See when I have the name and the date. I got this plant in November, and since I got this plant, it's grown so much. I got this as cuttings. It's already grown this much for me. I am putting it on a trellis. This plant, very beautiful. I love the dark leaves for one thing, and I love that there's some splashes on it. And then there's some with no splashes. I love the dark foliage. I am looking forward to seeing blooms on this. I know this is going to be a quick bloomer. Hoya Mathilde that I just got in November, doing really well. I have this one in a small pot in a container because it is a thick stem Hoya. This is the Hoya finlaysonii, and it's starting to have a little hanging action. I'm okay with that. Tendrils everywhere. I have, oh my goodness, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tendrils with no leaves. One thing about this plant that I'm excited for is that there is a peduncle on here, and I love it. Yeah, looking forward to seeing the peduncle, what the blooms look like. I love that when the new leaves that are coming in are so splashy. Look at that. This is new as well. Look at that. So nice and splashy. There's 2 peduncles on here. I'm looking forward to seeing these tendrils fill in eventually. It's sitting in an area in my plant room where there's a grow light, just hanging out, living its best life. We'll see how it grows as summer goes on. I'm going to be doing a whole house walkthrough, giving you a quick update on some of my plants. This one, I have a label on it, and of course, I don't remember the name of this plant because the label, it's completely faded. I do see that I got this plant in June of 2024, so last year, well, a year ago. Fungii, I think that's what it is. Hoya fungii pink blooms. Doing really well. It's grown I watered it yesterday, so there's some water kind of. It's going quite a bit of a tendril, which is great. No blooms on it yet. I do have a cutting in here where I got in a mystery box. It was a Hoya fungii as well, and that's growing. There's a little shoot in here. That's good. Can't wait to get my new setup in here so I can actually enjoy this plant because I love the foliage on the Hoya fungii. A lot of my Hoyas are just low maintenance and they just hang out in my plant room waiting to get water when they need to. That's it. They don't give me drama as much as my begonias do. No drama plants. I have it on a little trellis that I've made, and once it's get a little longer, I'll probably wrap it. This is the Hoya kerrii variegated. I got this plant for the blooms. The blooms are definitely beautiful to me. I know that these blooms on the kerrii is messy. I'll face that when it happens. I watch a lot of Vermont Hoyas, and he has a technique that he's done with the Hoya kerrii. I'll probably do it with this one once I eventually get blooms. It's growing. Look how thick the stem is. It's very thick. I'm gonna have to get this somehow on a trellis as soon as it starts to get a little longer before there's leaves on it. I like to get my Hoyas on a trellis after the vine grows out long enough for me to wrap it. Once this grows a little bit more, I'll see how I can get it wrapped. But this is going to be quite the adventure. This is a big leaf, thick stem Hoya. It's quite a beautiful Hoya. I mean, who doesn't love a kerrii, a heartleaf Hoya? Looking forward to seeing this grow. It'll be a while, and I'm okay with that. It's just funny, like it's definitely been working on roots because the roots are coming out of the bottom already. This one, Insularis, I think. I had an Insularis that was doing nothing and I moved it to a no drainage setup and it didn't like it. It died. So I quickly bought another one because I want to see this grow. This one was definitely cheaper than what I bought the other one for. The other one I had, it was just a cutting with two of these long leaves, and it was over $25. This one was less from one of the shops on Etsy that I shop at. I'm looking forward to seeing what this turned into because it is a very unique Hoya, unusual. You know, it doesn't look like anything much, but I'm looking forward to seeing like how this plant turn out. This is the Hoya compacta variegated, and it is doing really well. I have not had blooms on this one yet. I am shocked. There are peduncles on here and nothing's been activated yet. So I'm hoping this year something's going to happen. Okay, so I bought this plant as a cutting with the Hoya compacta, the green one. Of course, this one's a slower grower is what I hear from other people as well, that the variegated one is a much slower grower. I bought two of these cuttings last year, I think, to add to the pot to get it to a full pot. It's doing well. It's beautiful as ever. And I have it like this because I want. This doesn't look right. Oh, look at that. That looks nice. I just love the look of this. I would get more plants like this. There is another one that I want to get that is more expensive, but I'm gonna wait for a while. Hopefully it's gonna bloom for me soon, but it's just doing really well. Since I've noticed that since I've had it on the trellis supporting itself, it's gotten really thick at the end versus at the base here. That's interesting. Nevertheless, it's a beautiful plant. I love having it, and it's just done so well for me. It's growing well. I have no complaints on it. A lot of my Hoyas are just chill plants that I just enjoy water, enjoy the blooms and foliage. That's it. This Hoya is one of my favorites, is the Hoya Crimson Queen. And this is a Hoya Crimson Queen as well. My friend gave this to me so I can do an experiment with it. And I've lost Natalie. I've lost one of the cutting already. This one. It's just gonna take it out. This one's holding strong though, so that's good. I don't see any roots on this, but I'm eventually gonna pot these up together. But the Crimson Queen I have had for quite some time. It's doing really well. I love this. I love the coloring on here. Look at that. Beautiful. Not had blooms on this yet. I'm hoping it will bloom for me soon. I hope something. It doesn't have optimal conditions for blooms, but maybe when I get my new setup, it will. But this is one of my favorite plants. This is my Crimson Princess. It is grown quite a bit since summer have started. I bought this plant last year at a nursery that I usually go to near one of my doctor's appointments, and I go shopping after my appointment. I got this there and it's doing really well. No blooms on it at all. I'm hoping to get blooms on it. I mean, that's the hope for any Hoyas that you have. You want blooms. So I am patient. I have a lot of other blooms coming, but I love this plant. I love these dark leaves. I love it. And then some of them come in like this. Another one of my favorites, a classic Hoya that you can find at any of the big box stores if you shop there. All right, to get this video moving a lot faster, we're gonna just go ahead and go through my IKEA cabinet for the rest of my Hoyas. I have a lot, so I'm not looking to keep you on this video forever, but we're gonna just quickly go through some of the ones that I have in here. Okay, so I have Hoya Sunrise. When I first showed this plant in my plant tour video, it did not look like this. It was not growing as much. It started to grow so much once summer has started, but look at the sun stressing, how beautiful it is. Diurnal leaves are not as sun stressed. I'm okay with that. This has a label, and I got this one in November. It's doing well. I'm sure I'm going to have to take it out of the cabinet soon and grow it in my ambient humidity conditions. So I'm okay with that. Hoya Sunrise. I don't have a label on this one. I forget what this Hoya is called. I'll see if I can find it when I'm editing. But it is a cutting. It came in that mystery box video that I unboxed, and it's doing well. It's growing. There are some splashy new leaves coming. This leaf is actually new as well. This leaf is new. I think this one is the Hoya Cantina. I got it in November and doing well. Quite small, but I have like lots of new growth on here. Looking forward to seeing this one. This one looks like a Hoya Rosita. A lot like it. This is a Hoya Bella variegated. It's done nothing. Hopefully it'll take off. This Hoya, I forgot the name of it. It needs a water. But this plant doing pretty well. I forget when I got it. I'll have it at the bottom, of course. So splashy. Love it. So far, so good on it. And yeah, eventually you'll have to come out of the IKEA cabinet. This is the Hoya Serpents. I do know this one, and it's so tiny. Need to give it a water. But I do have a new leaf on it. I didn't think it was going to do anything, but here we are, new leaf. There was a mealybug on here that my friend squished when she was here visiting. You buy things from somebody else's collection and you inspect it when you get it, but later on you find a mealybug, random mealy. I'm glad it was just one. But Hoya Serpents, hopefully it'll do something in the next few months. Okay, so this Hoya didn't do. There's another vine. Oh my goodness. For the longest, I had this Hoya and it did nothing. It's a cutting I got and it's done absolutely nothing. But here we are. I have a vine that's grown and I just noticed that there's leaves coming from it. There's 2 leaves here and one at the very bottom right there. Right there. I have another vine right there. That is so awesome. I don't remember the name of this Hoya. I'll have to do some research and find out. But I think this was the Hoya that I didn't know what it was. It was sold to me as something. Sometimes shops will, they don't really know the name as well. So, and they sell you as something they think it is, and it's not. I'll show you one of those in a little bit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. I'm so excited. I saw this vine the other day and I'm like, oh, it's growing and now there's leaves. Amazing. I'm so excited. This one, I'll have to put the name of it, but it's doing well. It's grown these 2 new leaves. And I think that is it. Yeah. I think this is a new leaf as well. Yeah, doing well. I'm hoping to see how it's gonna grow this summer. And this one, I think this one is a Hoya camingiana variegated. I think so. I'm very happy to see that this one's growing. This one on here is the Hoya imbricata, and this was a cutting that I saved from my other plant that died off, and that's growing. And then my friend gave me some imbricata cuttings as well in a fluval, and actually there's a new leaf on there. Very nice. I'm gonna eventually pot these up together so I can have a lovely pot. Don't judge me. Desperately need water. I think this is the Lacanosa silver. Doing well. I know that this is going to eventually grow really fast, but right now it's absolutely not growing fast, and I'm sure it has to do with my watering habits. This is the plant that was sold to me as something else, but I think it is a callistophylla. It totally is. I'll put it at the bottom what it was sold to me as, but there is also a peduncle on there right here. I'm excited to see that, but I'm glad that it's growing. I've had this for the longest and it's had no growth, and all of a sudden, I guess it's got like warm enough in here where it's able to kind of get growing, which is a plus. And here is my Hoya pandorata, I think that is called, and it needs a little water, definitely thirsty, but the peduncles are getting bigger. I have peduncles on here. There we go. There's a peduncle right in there, right here, and there's another one right there. It's growing really well now that it's taken off. So splashy. All right, let's see. Look at this Hoya because I haven't. There's a vine that grew. That's good. Is the Hoya thomsonii. I remember this one. This is growing. Something's happening. There's 2 vines. There's a vine right over here and this one. So that's good. Hoya kuniana black. Doing okay. It's not as a fast grower as the silver. So hopefully soon it'll just kind of take off, because I know once it takes off, it's gonna grow really well. Doing okay. Slow grower. Is the Hoya curtisii, and I have it kind of wrapped like a nest in the pot. This is a small pot. It needs a water. This one actually can do with not as much watering from what I have heard. I might have to give this a repot soon. I was hoping to get blooms from this one this year, but I haven't. I haven't gotten anything, but it's like a bird's nest in here. It really is. I didn't want this to be trailing because it's in the IKEA cabinet. It's doing fine the way I have it wrapped right now. It sits right over here. I have more. This is the one of my favorite Hoyas already. It is in the name. This was gifted to me from my friend Natalie, and it is the Hoya optimistic. And there's a little sign. I'm thankful to that Natalie did this for me, and she even put her name on the back. But this Hoya is definitely one for the books because the name of it is just so unique. I have never heard of it before, and I think I'm probably going to give it a propagated soon, like cut it right here, just to get a bushier plant. I wonder what the blooms will look like for this. I have not checked, but it's rooting really well in fluval, and I will probably move it to soil soon. This is my chicken farm Hoya. Not much to report. I took it out of the soil that I had it in because it wasn't doing anything, and I moved it to fluval. I actually see these are the old roots that it had, but I actually see like new root growth at the bottom, so that's good. Chicken farm Hoya not giving me any chickens. Okay, so this Hoya is my troublesome Hoya. It is the Hoya polyneura. I'm trying to root again. I had it in soil, didn't like it. I had it in fluval, didn't like it. Now I have it in water. There is a root that is growing, so that's good. I'm not sure what to do. I'm still gonna try to rehab this one, but I've just been struggling with this since I got it. I have not had any luck. Give me tips on the Hoya polyneura because this one is a bit of a drama queen for me. So I want to say that's a wrap, but it's not. I have a few more to go through. They're cutting, so it's going to be really quick. We're going to show you a few at a time. There's this one that I'm trying to get going. It hasn't really done much. I'll put the name at the bottom. There's also this one. I think this is I don't remember. Okay, so this is the Hoya Carmely. It's doing well for a cutting. There's some new growth here. A lot of this is new growth, so I'm excited for that. Hoya Carmely definitely taken off as a cutting. Yay, something's happening. This is the Hoya Krimson, and it's doing well. I have two right here, not really doing much. I'll put the name of it. I think this might be another Thomsonii, but this one is the name of it. I don't know, but there's a little bit of growth happening right here, so that's good news. Gosh, some of these Hoyas that I have, it's going to take forever to take off. And this one, I think this is the Stardust. I'll have to find the name of it, but yeah. It's doing well. It's just a cutting still. Oh, there's some growth right here happening, starting right there. So yeah, that's good. Good to see. Let's see what happens. This one is the Hoya Ganungading grading. It is not doing much. I actually had more leaves on this cutting, or I had two cuttings, and that one died off. This one, I moved it to a very airy soil, and it's still holding together. Is there any root formation? Oh yeah, there's some root formation. There's a root right there. And there's some roots over there. So yeah, that's good to see. Hopefully something's gonna happen from this. Yeah, I hope. Okay, my last Hoya. It is the Hoya Black Margin. This was a gifted plant from one of my Instagram friends. I like the black outline around the leaves, and it's not fully established yet, but it's doing well. I'm looking forward to watching this grow. It's in the north window here. I'm going to leave some of these plants in the north window because I don't have room for everything. I forgot a Hoya. Last one. I showed this one earlier. This is the Hoya pubicalyx Royal Hawaiian. It's already growing. Came as a small cutting, and I got this only because of the bloom color. That's it. That is the only reason. So I'm here for the blooms on this one, and guess who's going to try to get this to bloom in fall? And that's it. That is all my Hoyas. I've left a count here at the bottom. So I wonder what my count is now. I hope that this video gave you some inspiration and enjoyed watching another Hoya obsessed plant grower and their collection. I'm sure that my collection is smaller than some of you guys' collection, and I'm sure you guys have bigger plants, but I like where I'm at with my collection. I didn't start collecting until a lot later. I acquired a lot last year. See how they grow, and let's see if I get any blooms for the next rest of the year. Thank you so much for watching my obsession, and I'll see you in my next video. Sachi, why do you have to be right here, girl? Huh? Why? Why, my love? My Hoya, what are you called again? All right, goodbye.
Peace out.